Picture this, 2002. With ECW gone and the Monday Night Wars long and over, Philadelphia thought they would never see another promotion that gained such a cult following and so much popularity like ECW did in the late 90s. Then came Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, that's been around for the last decade, has been home to some of the greatest wrestlers of this generation. Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. The list goes on, and it's a long list. And in the decade-long, in the years that Ring of Honor has been existing, they've had a lot of great moments over the years. And that's what's going to happen. For the next 5 days, I'm going to count down the top 50 greatest moments in Ring of Honor history. Let's get the first 10 out of the way today. Number 50. Christopher Daniels wins the Ring of Honor Championship. Christopher Daniels is one of the most seasoned veterans in the wrestling business. He has traveled all over the world, and he's one of the few wrestlers who have never signed with WWE in his entire career. A big part of his success came from Ring of Honor, and it was in this moment this moment was his crowning achievement. See, Christopher Daniels has been around for years, and the story was that Adam Cole, who was Ring of Honor champion by the time, was going to destroy the traditioned career of Christopher Daniels. And at the anniversary show in 2017, it was Cole versus Daniels. And another big moment behind this is that Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels' tag team partner, turned on him to join Bullet Club for about a few days. That's right. On this very day, Frankie Kazarian broke away from Bullet Club and joined up with Christopher Daniels, leading Daniels to pick up the win and become Ring of Honor champion. And that was Adam Cole's last match in Ring of Honor. Another emotional moment with this was when Christopher Daniels held the current belt and the first ever design of the belt, which was an amazing moment for a seasoned veteran. Number 49. Jeff Cobb wins the television championship. Otherwise known as Matanza in Lucha Underground, Jeff Cobb is one of the best indie wrestlers right now, and he is currently the Ring of Honor television champion as of this recording. Jeff Cobb made his debut earlier this year in Ring of Honor, heading for Punishment Martinez for his Ring of Honor championship, this Ring of Honor television championship this year. And at Death Before Dishonor, it would be Jeff Cobb's moment, and he would dethrone Punishment Martinez for the Ring of Honor television championship and send him packing all the way to NXT. As I said, as of this recording, Jeff Cobb is the Ring of Honor television champion. So I don't know how his reign is going. But it was a great win for a newcomer. Number 48. Kevin Steen wins the Ring of Honor championship. If you want to decide what company treated Kevin Owens well, Ring of Honor or WWE, I mean, in WWE, even though he did win the Universal, NXT, Intercontinental, and United States Championship, I really feel like Ring of Honor did Kevin Owens good. Or Kevin Steen, for that matter. After coming back from a year-long hiatus at Best of the World 2011, Kevin Steen then targeted Ring of Honor champion Davey Richards. And remember, if any Ring of Honor fans remember, Kevin Steen and Jim Cornette were at war by this time. They were at war in 2012. Because apparently in Jim Cornette's eyes, Kevin Steen doesn't fit that mold. He doesn't fit that image of what a pro wrestler is. And at Border Wars 2012, Kevin Steen shocked the world when he became probably one of the best Ring of Honor champions of all time. 300 days he was champion. And I bet you Jim Cornette exploded. Actually, I bet you Jim Cornette exploded. Even though they have a guy who brings the title to the winner. He couldn't even do it because of so much disdain that Kevin Steen brought to Ring of Honor. Either way, I still think that this was a great moment for Kevin Steen. Even though that he is now Kevin Owens in WWE right now. Number 47, Steve Corino versus BJ Witmer. In mid-2016, Steve Corino's in-ring career was winding down. He had been a long veteran of the wrestling world. He competed in the original ECW, and his career was about to be over. At around the same time, BJ Witmer was returning to in-ring action after returning from knee surgery. The story of this rivalry is that BJ Witmer started acting fatherly towards Steve Corino's son. He started acting towards family. Yeah, he started heading towards his family. He went after his wife. And so Steve Corino said no more and challenged BJ Witmer to a non-sanction match at Best of the World 2016. The match itself was brutal as ever. Steve Corino and BJ Witmer tore each other apart. They busted each other open. They tried to cut each other. And it wasn't until Kevin Sullivan made a surprise appearance and cost Corino the match, leading Witmer to get the win. Although it's not an outrageous moment, I feel like this is probably one of the most underrated rivalries in Ring of Honor. Number 46, the Briscoes versus the All Night Express Ladder War. So they do this whole thing. Ring of Honor has this thing called Ladder War, which is basically a ladder match consisting of two people who are feuding. And at Death Before Dishonor 2011, the Briscoes and the All Night Express went at each other to become the number one contenders for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. The match itself was chaotic as ever. Whenever there's a ladder match, you know things are gonna go crazy. And the All Night Express and the Briscoes took each other to the limit in this match, with the All Night Express, Kenny King, and Rhett Titus coming out on top and becoming the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships. This match has to go up there as one of the best ladder matches in Ring of Honor history. Number 45, Austin Aries and Samoa Joe's Reign of Terror. You ready for this? Samoa Joe held the Ring of Honor Championship for 645 days. In that time period, he was at the prime of his life. Even though he wasn't on TNA yet, he was still controlling Ring of Honor as a Ring of Honor champion. In a final battle, 2004, he was going up against Austin Aries. The two put on an amazing match, which saw Aries finally ending Samoa Joe's gargantuan reign of the Ring of Honor Championship. Imagine how the atmosphere must have been like in that arena for every Ring of Honor fan. Samoa Joe, they thought Samoa Joe, who was the champion, they thought that he can never be beat, like he was going to be the champion forever, and then Austin Aries comes in and has his crowning achievement. Truly one of the most OMG and most outrageous moments in Ring of Honor history. Number 45, Taylor Hendricks versus Mandy Leon, a no DQ match. So one thing that's been missing from Ring of Honor in its few years was a women's division. Like, it's only been men fighting, but they always had women's matches then and there. And in 2016, they decided to ramp up their women's division performing Women of Honor. And it had, I think, probably the first no DQ match for women in wrestling history. Taylor Hendricks and Mandy Leon went to war with each other in this match, which saw Taylor Hendricks coming out on top of Mandy Leon. Hendricks and Leon probably had one of the best feuds in Women of Honor, and they really broke down barriers for women in Ring of Honor with, like I said, probably the first ever women's no DQ match in professional wrestling history. Number 43, Dalton Castle wins the Ring of Honor Championship. Dalton Castle is probably one of the most outlandish gimmicks in Ring of Honor and professional wrestling today. Like, he doesn't look like it, but he doesn't look like the kind of guy who would be champion, but he proved us all wrong in 2017. At Final Battle 2017, he was going up against Cody Rhodes, who just won the Ring of Honor Championship from Christopher Daniels earlier in the year. The two put on an amazing match. They put on a good match, which saw Dalton Castle shocking all the fans, winning the Ring of Honor Championship. I didn't watch the match. I didn't watch it live, but I had that sense of feeling that Cody could retain. But they proved me wrong on this night, and Dalton Castle won the Ring of Honor Championship. Number 42, Steve Corino versus Kevin Steen. So the story here is that after Kevin Steen was banished from Ring of Honor at Final Battle 2010, he made his return at Best in the World 2011. And he decided to become a thorn in Jim Cornette and Ring of Honor side once again. Like I said, between 2011 and 2012, Cornette and Steen were at war. So it all came ahead at Final Battle 2011. It will be Steve Corino versus Kevin Steen, and if Kevin Steen wins, he's reinstated back in the Ring of Honor. The two put on a very brutal and bloody match, which had an amazing ending. After Kevin Steen package pile drove Steve Corino through a bunch of chairs, Jimmy Jacobs, who was Ring of Honor referee in this match, he tried to hesitate. If you saw the match, you can look the match back. He does one, he does two, he doesn't want to do the final 3 count. But he looks at Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette's like, screw it, just do it. And then he counts 3. And Kevin Steen was reinstated back into Ring of Honor. After the match, he package pile drove Jimmy Jacobs and symbol 3, which meant that Jim Cornette was the 3rd victim on his list. Just as Kevin Steen was about to package pile drive Jim Cornette, El Generico, Kevin Steen's longtime enemy and friend, came down the ring, and he got package pile drove through a table, which saw him had to be stretchered out of Ring of Honor, out of the arena. That match probably had to be up there with one of Kevin Steen's best Ring of Honor matches of all time. Number 41, BJ Witmer almost kills Jimmy Jacobs. Witmer and Jacobs have to be up there with probably one of the greatest friendships and rivalries in Ring of Honor history. And this moment was a big factor in the rivalry. On a TV taping on a Ring of Honor TV taping, BJ Witmer went for a top rope pile driver, a top rope powerbomb. As he was positioning himself, as he was about to lift up Jacobs, he slipped. He fell, which led Jimmy Jacobs landing on his neck right on the ring post. The match had to be stopped, and it was a scary moment for fans in that arena. We almost thought that Jimmy Jacobs was dead. And it was a very scary moment to witness. But either way, Jimmy Jacobs survived, And he and Witmer put on probably one of the feud of the year later that year. Well, everybody, that was the first 10 moments and the greatest moments of Ring of Honor history. Join me tomorrow while I will count down moments 40 through 31. I've been Xavier Ortega. Please put a like on the video, click the subscribe button, click the bell, comment on the video, and share whatever you want. I will see you all in the next video.